better for me. You know, the slimmies of summer come to class wearing next to nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Will, it's all right to be angry.
Hey, why should I be mad? I'm saying, at least
Will
he said.
Smith is one of those rare stars whose light transcends generations. A man who could make us laugh, cry, and believe all in a single breath. From hip-hop stages to Hollywood sets, he embodied charisma, courage, and heart. Yet behind every smile that dazzled millions was a story of pain, perseverance, and redemption. His journey from a fractured home in West Philadelphia to the summit of world cinema is more than fame. It's a testament to survival. This is not just the tale of a movie star, but of a man who wrestled his own shadow to find the light. A childhood of contradictions. Willard Carroll Smith Jr. was born into a world that looked peaceful from the outside, but was filled with emotional storms within. His father, a hardworking engineer, demanded discipline and perfection, while his mother, a devoted educator, believed in kindness and intellect. Their contrasting natures built a tense home, one that shaped Will's early emotional landscape. The night his father struck his mother became the defining scar of his life, a memory frozen in time that taught him fear, guilt, and silence. From that pain, humor became his shield. He learned to make people laugh to keep the walls from shaking, to replace screams with smiles. What the world later celebrated as charm and wit was born from a frightened boy's instinct to protect himself and others from pain. That single childhood moment quietly forged the foundation of both his strength and his lifelong struggle with control. Finding escape through music became Will's salvation, a rhythm that gave order to the chaos he couldn't escape at home. Hip-hop, still young in the 1980s, became his therapy, a voice for the voiceless, and Will used it to rewrite his pain into laughter. Teaming up with his close friend Jeff Towns, DJ Jazzy Jeff, he transformed into the Fresh Prince, a playful storyteller whose lighthearted rhymes stood out in a world dominated by aggressive beats. Their clean, clever lyrics made rap family-friendly, opening doors mainstream artists hadn't before. Yet fame brought new insecurities. Hardcore rappers mocked him for being too soft, too commercial. The sting of rejection returned. He was successful, but not respected. Beneath the upbeat flow and flashing smile, the boy who once feared his father's hand now feared the judgment of his peers. Every joke, every lyric, carried the hidden ache of someone still fighting to be seen. The fall that taught him value. Wealth arrived too soon, and youth made Will reckless. The millions he earned vanished as quickly as they came, spent on luxury, parties, and careless choices. When the IRS came knocking, his fame evaporated, leaving behind a 21-year-old with a broken reputation and empty pockets. The fall was brutal but cleansing. For the first time, he confronted the cost of arrogance and the illusion of endless success. The boy who once masked fear with laughter now faced humiliation with nothing to hide behind. Yet that collapse planted his greatest wisdom. Talent opens doors, but discipline keeps them open. In the ruins of his early fortune, Will rediscovered the hunger that first drove him, not for fame, but for purpose. The loss stripped away the glitter and revealed the fighter within. From that moment, he began rebuilding not just a career, but a man who would never take success for granted again. Rebirth as the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Just as life seemed determined to humble him, destiny appeared disguised as opportunity. At a Hollywood party hosted by Quincy Jones, Will was asked to audition for a new sitcom on the spot. With no time to prepare, he relied purely on instinct, the same instinct that once used humor as survival. That spontaneous moment earned him the role of a lifetime in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The show was more than a comeback. It was a cultural reset. Will brought authenticity, humor, and vulnerability to television, bridging racial and social divides through laughter. His character mirrored his own life, a young man finding belonging between two worlds. Overnight, he transformed from a bankrupt rapper to a beloved television icon. It was resurrection through risk, proof that second chances favor the bold. For Will, this was not just fame reborn, it was dignity reclaimed through courage and faith. Conquering Hollywood's summit. With television conquered, Will set his sights on Hollywood, where he would become one of the biggest stars of his generation. Movies like Bad Boys, Independence Day, and Men in Black made him the face of 1990s heroism. Charismatic, fearless, and unshakably cool. Audiences adored him, studios trusted him. Yet behind the charm, the pressure grew suffocating. The world expected perfection, the smile, the swagger, the spotless image. Critics accused him of being too clean, too manufactured, as though joy were something to apologize for. He felt trapped inside the persona he'd built, invisible behind the mask of the nice guy. Fame had given him everything, except the freedom to be flawed. Beneath the applause, he battled exhaustion and loneliness, longing to be seen not as an icon, but as a man. The higher he rose, the heavier his crown became, pressing down on his humanity. Depth, pain, and redemption. Through art, seeking authenticity, Will dove into roles that demanded pain and truth. Playing Muhammad Ali in Ali, 2001, pushed him to his physical and emotional limits. Every punch, every line was a war between doubt and belief. The film earned him respect and his first Oscar nomination, but left him drained. Then came The Pursuit of Happyness, 2006, where he channeled his own childhood wounds into the role of a struggling father. The tears the audience saw weren't fiction. They were decades of buried emotion breaking free. Acting became therapy, a sacred space to turn scars into stories. Yet even amid triumph, regret lingered. Turning down The Matrix and Django Unchained haunted him as missed chances. But King Richard, 2021, became his redemption. A father protecting his daughters as fiercely as Will wished he could have protected his mother. His Oscar win symbolized not perfection, but survival. Pain transmuted into purpose. The slap that shattered the crown. March 27, 2022, the night of his greatest triumph turned into his deepest fall. Minutes after winning the Oscar for King Richard, Will's fury erupted over a joke about his wife. One impulsive moment, a slap, echoed through the world, drowning his lifetime of achievements in controversy. The man who spent his life controlling his image lost control in the worst possible spotlight. The Academy banned him for 10 years. Projects were canceled. Public respect fractured. Alone, he faced the unbearable truth. He had become what he once feared, the source of pain. Shame replaced applause, and sleepless nights replaced celebration. Yet even in disgrace, Will began to confront the man behind the act. The incident stripped away the illusion of perfection, forcing him to rebuild from humility. In that silence, he rediscovered what the crown had hidden, his own humanity. The road to reflection and renewal. In the aftermath of the scandal, Will turned inward. The noise of fame faded, replaced by reflection, therapy, and faith. He began unpacking decades of pain, his childhood trauma, his need to please, his obsession with control. For perhaps the first time, he sought not to perform, but to understand himself. Through journaling, meditation, and time away from the spotlight, he learned that true power lies in accountability, not applause. Gradually, the world began to see a different Will Smith. Not the flawless hero, but the evolving human being behind the smile. His vulnerability opened a new chapter, one grounded in growth and forgiveness. The boy who once froze in fear now faced his own flaws with courage. His journey became a lesson that redemption is not a single act, but a daily choice to keep showing up, to keep learning, to keep healing. Legacy of light and shadow. Will Smith's life is not a tale of perfection, but of persistence. From the trembling nights in West Philadelphia to the blinding glare of Hollywood, his story reveals the beauty and pain of being human. Every triumph carried a scar, every mistake carried a lesson. He taught the world that laughter can coexist with sorrow, that failure can lead to wisdom, and that forgiveness, especially self-forgiveness, is the truest form of strength. His legacy is one of resilience, not invincibility. He is both the shining, fresh prince and the man who stumbled under the weight of his own greatness. Through his rise, fall, and renewal, Will Smith reminds us that no matter how public our pain or private our regret, light can always find its way through the cracks. In the end, his crown may be dented, but it still shines, not from perfection, but from